And now we'll move on to the best PA Brewery bracket. Which
How many votes did this get? A little more localized.
This was a little over 700. So
I'm actually shocked it's that high.
So the one thing that really cracked me up about this one, so this garnered the most controversy, I would say.
Got the most comments.
Because, I might as well tell the whole story. So when we put this together, or when I put this together, the thing was I looked at all the PA breweries, and memory serves me correct, there's over 100, but I don't think it's by a wide margin. I was trying to look at ones that would be for more mass appeal, because we do have a lot of fans outside of PA, and I wanted to try to hit a brewery they might have come across. So a lot of the choices were boiled down to who's going to be the most popular and from where, and I tried to spread it out across all of PA. Now, if you're from PA or you know anything about PA beer, you know the biggest guys tend to be more south or northeast, and then there are a good handful out in like Erie and Pittsburgh.
Stop being so local, Bri.
And more west. But, these guys who are, I don't even want to plug their name, but they basically were bitching, saying we have too much of a Philly bias and had some real swill makers on this list, which I don't know who they're referring to. But essentially,
I would assume Yingling and Lion's Head.
Possibly. But these guys also have a podcast that only talk about beer, and they like to make fun of people from Philly who say "wooder," like basically me. So I'm
because Pittsburgh has such a good accent.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
answers.
I'm not shocked about that, but yeah, beer. We've said this a long time. We chose one of the craziest niches to go into, which is beer and video games, because they have two of the most hardcore fan base. And if you, God forbid, disagree or go with something that's more popular from either one, and you're not supporting the smallest, most indie, most local, you're going to be hated by the hardcores. So
I think beer might be worse than games.
It is, because games, it's like easier to shut people down. I feel like beer is so much more objective than even games, that it's tougher, because I can admit that when we first started, you and I were a little hateful of IPAs and certain, like the culture, but I can understand the love people have of this beer, and it takes a really long time to appreciate beer to a different level than just, what's cheap and what's going to get you drunk. So,
right.
Anyway, with all that put aside, so the top 10 of this, coming in first place, actually, before I do this, Jim, who did you have picked?
I had Trogs.
No, that was your final choice. Who did you pick when we were talking last podcast? You son of a bitch.
Didn't I pick Trogs?
No, you picked Yingling.
Oh, I did pick Yingling, didn't I?
I always have to remember shit for him. And I had picked Yards.
Been 2 weeks. Leave me alone.
So, Trogs won. And I'm not shocked. Especially, I think the beer that puts that over the top is Mad Elf. And that's the beer that turned most people, if you never like craft beer, around Christmas time. It's that 11%, honey, strong, dark Belgian red ale that is really, really good. But I think that's what Trogs is most well known for. They have obviously an awesome lineup other than that beer, but I think that, followed by Victory Brewing Company, which their, I think standout beer is going to be Golden Monkey. Most people we talk to, if you talk about PA beer, they know at least those two beers is like the impressive craft beer from PA. After that comes Weyerbacher, which was my choice, and then Evil Genius, which I'm happy to see was as high as it was.
Yeah.
Then we had Yingling, then Yards, then Sly Fox, then Neshaminy Creek, another local to us. Tired Hands, which I expected to do even better, because it is one of the goddamn hardest breweries to get their releases from, and they make some goddamn delicious beers. But anyway, number 10 was Fegley's. So that surprised me a little bit, but
I will guess off Rudolph alone.
Yeah, Rudolph is probably one of the reasons. But once again,
I couldn't tell you another one by them, to be honest.
Now, as far as the bottom 5, number 32 is Susquehanna Brewing Company, which kind of shocked me because I really like their Blood Orange IPA, and I think it's called like Blood Money or something. And I can't I know I've had a lot of stuff from them. I never was blown away, but they were fine. 31 was Liquid Hero, which I've had 2 or 3 of their beers. Number 30 was Forest and Maine, which I just talked to a guy who just went there and talked me into probably going there eventually, so I got to check that out. And then 29 was Aldous Brewing Company, and 28 was Erie Brewing Company. So a lot of the middle was filled out by a lot of those Pittsburgh and Erie and the Western PA breweries. And our good old Lion Brewery, Jim, came in at number 13. So, ha!
All right, respectable. Respectable for swill.
Hey, that is still, for me, it'll always be, if I want to go cheap beer and drink a lot, I still go with Lion's Head or Lion's Head Light.
That is your keystone.
That is my keystone. And it has games.
That is true. Goddamn riddles.
So, we will, once again, thank you guys for voting on that. And we wanted to keep expanding our horizons for bringing in more beer-centric crowd towards these brackets and to our site, where I'm much more on average, I'd say at least 3 to 4 times a week, uploading different beer reviews, game reviews, just content. So, we know we don't make as many videos geared towards breweries, but we're trying to keep you guys involved, because we do have some projects in the future that will involve beer a lot more. That's all I'll say.